CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Evan Kenny.
Good evening. The Alberta government has revised its school library book ban, saying it's now only targeting visual depictions of sexual acts. The education minister says this updated version will prevent misinterpretation.
Our concern from the very beginning, as was brought to our attention, was always around the really explicit and visual depictions of sexual activity that we had seen in some of these novels that were brought to our attention. Classic literary material stays in school libraries as it should.
Dimitrios Nicolaides says the changes were made in response to the Edmonton Public School Board planning to pull hundreds of books from its shelves. The president of the Teachers Union says clarity about the rules should have come sooner.
It takes time to record and manage classroom libraries, and this legislation has already become one more thing for teachers to do without adequate time or resources.
Government says books in schools that have images and illustrations of a sexually explicit nature will not be allowed. However, written descriptions of sex are okay. It will require school boards to be transparent about its books, including establishing a listing of all school literary materials other than those contained in a classroom collection. A list of books in classrooms need to be made available to parents if asked. Last week, there was an international outcry over banned books, with The Handmaid's Tale author Margaret Atwood posting about it. One political scientist says this was a case of poor policy implementation.
Had they gone through the process of consultation with the school boards, with library associations, they might have prevented this, fairly embarrassing for them, I think, instance where, they wrote a ministerial order, it was complied with, and then they said, oh no, that's not what we meant.
School boards will now have until the first week of January to remove any books that do not comply with this order. However, school divisions have until the end of October to give the province a list of books they plan to remove under the new rules. The Edmonton Public School Board says division staff will proceed with implementing the revised government order. As athletes in Alberta sign up to play school sports this fall, girls are being given a provincially mandated form that requires them to confirm their sex at birth. One young athlete doesn't want to write down personal information and is concerned about wider implications. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
14-year-old Natalie Elzinga was excited for volleyball tryouts at her St. Albert school. That is, until she was told something was preventing her from taking her shot.
I got pulled aside to a whole different gym saying that I had to sign this form or I wasn't allowed to try out and I wasn't allowed to step onto the court if this form was not signed.
Elzinga was given this form that follows the province's new Fairness and Safety in Sport Act. It requires women and girls and the parents of those under 18 to confirm they were born female in order to play competitive sports.
I'm not trans, I'm not queer in any way, shape, or form, but I know that this is terrifying for people who are.
St. Albert Public Schools says the forms are being distributed and collected by coaches when students try out for a team. It says the forms will be kept at school offices and not given to the province. Edmonton Public says it will do the same. Edmonton Catholic schools are using a digital form with access restricted to authorized administrators and office staff. Under the province's new rules, boys don't have to fill out these forms, a decision Elzinga's mom questions.
They don't care about trans athletes in sport. Otherwise, they would care about all trans athletes in sport. They care about girls specifically and limiting what they can do.
The press secretary for the Minister of Tourism and Sport says it's the responsibility of sport organizations to verify requirements are met and to maintain personal information while following privacy legislation. The ministry says the act will make sport safe, accessible, and fair for all Albertans, and the province has no plans for similar legislation for boys at this time. In the end, Elzinga decided to hand in the form, but not before crossing out the words fairness and safety.
I know that there are so many people on that court in my class who are not able to talk, and I just want them to be able to, again, feel safe, feel protected, like a child should.
Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Some people who live in the Highlands area want a bridge housing project in the neighborhood put on hold. Jasper Place Wellness Center plans to build healing houses at this city-owned site at 111th Avenue and 61st Street. The units would be for homeless people who have been released from hospital to heal in and access support to find permanent housing. People who live in the area say they've been left in the dark about the project and want their questions answered before it moves forward. Councillor Tim Cartmel put forward a motion to defer the sale of the land for further consultation. That motion was voted down.
While communities seek comfort, people are dying in our streets. They are losing limbs. They are dying preventable deaths from untreated mental health issues and addictions. Every delay is not just a process or a conceptual exercise. It is another death.
There are some people in Highlands that know what they think might happen here, and they're pretty supportive of that. Imagine if we had taken the time to tell the entire community back in May what might happen here.
City councillors agreed to sell the land for $1 and provide a grant to Jasper Place Wellness Center. They did the same for the site at the Calder neighborhood. Supporters of the family of a missing teen want police to activate a search and recovery mission.
We will get that river searched, and we will bring Samuel home. So thank you.
14-year-old Samuel Bird has been missing for more than 3 months. He was last seen on June 1st walking in the Kenora neighborhood. On Saturday, people gathered at the provincial legislature vowing to search every square kilometer of land and river to bring him home. The Confederacy of Treaty 6 First Nations has asked police to designate Bird's case as a search and recovery mission. His family says that would enable them to access more resources and personnel to help with search efforts.
We, as a community, know that with our love and prayers and attention, we can all bring Samuel Bird home in a good way. Hi, Masicho. And the community is here to say, bring right on.
Bird is familiar with West and South Edmonton. He's 5'8" and described as having a slim build, brown hair, and brown eyes. Anyone with information about Bird's disappearance can call Edmonton Police or Crime Stoppers. An Edmonton-based Canadian Armed Forces member reported missing in Latvia last week has been found dead. Warrant Officer George Hull was reported missing last Tuesday. His body was found Friday. He was a vehicle technician with the 408 Tactical Helicopter Squadron in Edmonton. He was deployed as part of the Aviation Battalion to the NATO Multinational Brigade. Officials say there's no indication Hull's death poses a threat to other deployed armed forces. Hull had been a member of the Canadian Armed Forces for almost 20 years and was a veteran of several missions. The Prime Minister visited the brigade last month. He posted online, "On behalf of all Canadians, I offer my deepest condolences to Warrant Officer Hull's family, friends, and to all those who served with him." The Glen Sather Sports Medicine Clinic at the University of Alberta will close in the new year. CTV's Merrick Tkach explains why.
Really disappointing to hear that they're going to be closing.
After 36 years of providing care for patients, the Glen Sather Sports Medicine Clinic is closing. One patient we spoke with has been getting treated at the clinic for 2.5 years.
They just have really good staff who's really experienced, and they focus on sports injuries, and I feel like I've received a level of care here that I haven't found in private clinics.
The University of Alberta says the needs of elite and varsity sports teams have changed, meaning many teams now have their own specialists and clinicians.
In 1988, this was groundbreaking, this idea of bringing all of these specialists together to work in collaboration really set the standard within the city and beyond.
Since 2020, 2020, the clinic has recorded annual losses ranging between $600,000 and $900,000.
Obviously, the financial losses that we've seen, despite efforts on everyone's part, are just beyond what we can continue to carry.
The closure will terminate 10 full-time employees, 4 part-time positions, and 7 casual positions.
So we're working with the clinicians right now to find out where they'll transfer their patients. A number of our clinicians have their own clinics elsewhere in the city, so they were working part-time at the Sather Clinic, and so we'll work with them.
By the end of September, every patient will get written confirmation from the clinic for where they'll continue to receive care. The clinic will close its doors for good on January 7th. Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
St. Albert's Dine and Shop Week has begun. Throughout the week, downtown St. Albert's culinary and retail scenes will come to life. Exclusive promotions, new menus, and entertainment will be offered. Organizers say the week-long event showcases the city's diversity and charm.
There have been some businesses that have left the area just because it isn't like a real downtown, and that makes me sad. We would love to see, because I have a business down here too, we'd love to see this downtown area flourish and just see what we can bring downtown here.
It's up Saturday. And organizers are celebrating a successful Kaleido Family Arts Festival. The event marked its 20th anniversary over the weekend. Street performers, live music, theater, and dancers took over 5 blocks of 118th Avenue. A basketball competition was also held throughout the weekend. Organizers say this year felt like the Kaleido Fest of old.
It seems like our visitors are coming back, our artists are coming back, the weather was beautiful, and we are just so excited that we have arts on rooftops and balconies, Indigenous Village, car shows, just so much activity just to reflect the soul of the old Alberta Avenue neighborhood.
More than 800 artists took part in the festival. The Liberal government introduced the Canada Strong Pass this summer in an effort to get Canadians to travel within the country. It is now over, and we are learning about the impact on Canadian tourism. CTV's Maria Saru reports.
Late summer on PEI, and a steady stream of people trek to Brackley Beach for a spot in the sand and a quick dip.
Going in the water? We try to get out at least once a week, if we can, and we enjoy it.
That ritual was more affordable this year with the Canada Strong Pass. It was launched by the Mark Carney government in June and ended this week. The pass offered free admission to national parks and museums for many, discounted camping, plus lower Via Rail fares.
That certainly supported the people coming to the beach, and so all good.
New numbers show a 15% increase in attendance at national museums, 10% more visits at Parks Canada Places, and at least 50,000 Canada Strong Pass bookings on Via Rail, with final results in the coming weeks. Tourism operators in PEI say it came at the right time.
We kind of had this perfect storm of reasons for Canadians to explore Canada.
Some Canadian travelers are boycotting trips south of the border. In June, the number of return trips from the U.S. was down nearly 29% year over year. Canadians choosing to explore here at home also boosted local businesses.
We've certainly heard from operators that there's been an increase.
Now the push is on for a strong fall season, and at this national park, the crowds keep coming, soaking up the last days of summer. Maria Saru, CTV News, Brackley Beach, Prince Edward Island.
A local group honored King Charles with a special ceremony. The Royal Commonwealth Society of Edmonton planted a bur oak tree in honor of the King's coronation. It says the tree symbolizes strength, legacy, and environmental stewardship.
It will last 300, maybe 400 years at least. It'll grow to 15 to 30 metres in height, and it's a testament to his strength and resilience in the world we're in today.
A commemorative plaque was also installed at the site in Griesbaugh. Coming up next, why Danielle Smith is meeting with U.S. counterparts in Colorado. Also just ahead, how one local company hopes Ottawa will help move the AI industry forward.
help startups here be able to, grow and leverage the incredible talent and technology that we have here.
Good evening, folks. Temperatures up to 28 degrees in Edmonton today, and the heat goes on all week long with daytime highs in the mid to upper 20s. Take a closer look at that and a slight risk of a spotty shower for late tomorrow night in just a few minutes.
The gondola at Kicking Horse Mountain Resort in Golden, BC is up and running. In March, one of the gondola cabins fell about a meter from the lift cable. 8 passengers inside avoided serious injury. The gondola has been closed ever since. The resort says all the hanger arms have now been replaced and all required testing is complete. The lift fully reopened to the public yesterday. The Eagle's Eye restaurant is set to open September 15th. A playful duo stole the show at a golf tournament in Golden this weekend. A CTV viewer captured video of 2 black bear cubs frolicking and wrestling near the 18th hole. Cubs are about 2 years old and were apparently born on or near the course. Golfers took a break until the bears finished playing. Parks Canada is warning campers and hikers about wolves spotted in Banff National Park. The warning for 2 Jack Lakeside Campground will remain in place until further notice. Parks Canada says the wolves have shown bold behavior. It's advising people to use caution when traveling or camping in the area and to carry bear spray. A small wildfire near Moose Meadows in Banff National Park is now classified as being held. Park officials say it's not likely to spread beyond its current size of 2 hectares. Over the next few days, crews will work to put the fire out. It may also mean that at times smoke may be visible from the Trans-Canada Highway and 1A. The fire was reported on Saturday. Canada's first artificial intelligence minister is in Edmonton, speaking with local leaders in the rapidly growing field.
The capability frontier starts with the researchers and the academics.
Alberta's Machine Intelligence Institute is one of Canada's 3 AI centres. It hosted a fireside chat with Evan Solomon today to discuss Canada's productivity related to AI. Amy says it hopes Ottawa will help create more opportunities for the AI sector in the future.
Continue to, on our side, be able to push forward the frontiers on the research side, help startups here be able to, grow and leverage the incredible talent and technology that we have here.
Tomorrow, Amy will once again play host to the federal government. A number of ministers will be on hand to discuss funding for AI training for energy workers. Air Canada flights will continue, despite flight attendants resoundingly rejecting the company's latest wage offer.
The magnitude of the defeat. I mean, I can't remember the last time that 99% of the members overturned or voted down the deal negotiated by their own leadership. So it suggests that they're very, very upset.
The rejected tentative deal raised wages for workers and established a pay structure for time worked when aircraft are on the ground. It included a 12% salary increase this year for most junior flight attendants, an 8% bump for more senior members, and smaller raises in following years. The wage issue will head to mediation and then to arbitration if necessary. There will be no strike or lockout, meaning flights will continue to operate. Premier Danielle Smith is in Colorado to promote the province as a reliable energy partner. The Premier is meeting with politicians and industry leaders in both energy and agriculture. Smith and Colorado's governor previously signed a memorandum of understanding to align and improve regulation. It also looks to share best practices in areas like carbon capture and hydrogen development. In 2024, bilateral trade with Colorado totaled nearly $6 billion. Smith's trip wraps up Wednesday. Still ahead, why a group of Albertans are putting together a catalog of small-town dive bars and pubs.
You piece them all together and it just tells a story of what life was like 100 years ago or 75 years ago.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. The averages for this time of year, end of the first week of September, are in the 19 and 8 degree range for the high and the low. We were 2 degrees above average for the morning low. We'll be even warmer than that for the next couple of mornings. And up to 28 for a high this afternoon, almost 10 degrees above average. And it looks like we're in for the same thing tomorrow. Had some thunderstorms in through the foothills for the second straight afternoon. Those are fizzling out. Tomorrow, there's a low pressure system that's going to move across the north. Best chance for precipitation is going to be in northeastern Alberta late in the day tomorrow. But you can see in the afternoon, again, over the Swan Hills, Slave Lake region, you might see some isolated thunderstorms. And then back further to the west is a weak little cold front, although it's more of a cool front than a cold front. And that may, at the tail end of it, set off 1 or 2 isolated showers or possibly even a thunderstorm. But you can see this is 10 p.m. tomorrow. So daytime hours, sunny, a little bit of thin haze, air quality health index, much like today, should be in the moderate risk range for most of the day. And then late tomorrow night into the overnight period, maybe hit and miss pocket of precipitation. For the most part, it looks pretty dry for the next little while. You can see by Wednesday, we're back under mainly sunny to partly cloudy skies. 13 degrees in Edmonton tomorrow morning. Should be in the 9s and 10s across the rest of central and northern Alberta. Daytime highs tomorrow afternoon get into the high 20s across the northeast. That chance of showers and thunderstorms, though, tomorrow night. There's that risk for the afternoon in Slave Lake. About 27 into Grand Prairie, 27 or 28 as well for Red Deer, Lloydminster, Coronation, and mainly sunny skies. And here in Edmonton, sunny with a bit of haze. 28 tomorrow, 26s and 27s for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Again, there is a slight chance overnight Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning for a spotty shower. Otherwise, it's dry for the next 5 days. Next best chance at precipitation comes early next week. Chance of scattered showers Monday, Tuesday of next week, and temperatures dropping back closer to average with highs closer to 20. In the short term, though, well above average with highs in the mid to upper 20s. That is your forecast.
Many Alberta towns have one, an old hotel with a restaurant or bar inside. Many of these buildings are closing down, which is why a group of photographers are documenting this part of Prairie history before it disappears. CTV's Connor Hogg reports.
The Andrew Hotel has stood at the end of Main Street for decades.
The social center for everyone to go and meet, you know, Friday nights and go and have a couple of beers after work, and there was probably a dance and a pool hall and the romances and bar fights and everything in between.
We have our coffee crew, the farmers, whatever, you know, because we don't really have that many restaurants because they come and go.
Tonight, the Beer Parlor Project is visiting to preserve the hotel's history.
There's a lot of stories that have passed between these walls.
Those stories coming straight from the mouths of the people inside.
This place has been since 1982. It was rebuilt. Before that, it burnt down.
I was probably 20 years old when I started coming here.
Waitress a lot of Portmore.
Oh, so you know top condition.
Yeah.
Stories recorded for posterity and photos taken the old-fashioned way with antique cameras.
Like I said,
when they're speaking of something, it is a memory that's going to stick with them their entire lives. You hear happy stories, you hear incredibly sad stories, all in one sentence or one paragraph sometimes.
Many of these types of buildings tell similar stories. Some have rumors of hauntings, small-town scandals, and legends. All of them are community hubs.
But it's pretty close-knit here. When somebody dies, whatever, we tend to gather here always. We have a lot of funerals in here.
While many of the people may be gone, some are still here, and the stories remain. The project planning to collect them in a traveling exhibit or a book.
1, 2, 3. Nothing's groundbreaking, nothing's earth-shattering, but you piece them all together and it just tells a story of what life was like 100 years ago or 75 years ago.
Through the lens of the Beer Parlor Project, stories are told that may be ordinary, but are also worth telling. In Andrew, Alberta, Connor Hogg, CTV News.
I like that, the way they use that old-timey camera. It's a pretty neat way to keep those stories and memories alive. That's all the time we have. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good rest of your night.